Well, still ahead, how to know if gastric bypass surgery is the right weight loss solution for you.
Thank you so much. We're already involved in conversation here. Sorry, Chrissy, we're already talking here. Our next guests are both very well-known figures in very different worlds. First, a man whose name, he became a name very early in his life as a superstar on the football field. Running back for USC in the 1970s, Anthony Davis was featured on magazine covers, remains a legend to this day, having been inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame last August. Now, with him this morning, Dr. Alan Wittgrove, a very well-known surgeon who was the first in the world to perform laparoscopic gastric bypass surgery. He directs the Wittgrove Bariatric Center at Scripps Memorial Hospital in La Jolla. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Davies, welcome.
Thank you.
And the two of you come together because, Anthony, you were having a problem.
Big time problem. I was suffering from gout, sleep apnea. I became official diabetic the day before my surgery. And I met Dr. Wittgrove a year ago at a post-USC UCLA game where I was on autographs. And, you know, Carney Wilson had the procedure in 1999. And I was told that this is the man that saved Carney Wilson's life. And I stood up laughing jokingly and said that maybe he can save mine. And
I want to get to the procedure, but I want to have a little bit more background. How did you get into the shape that you ended up in? How did that happen?
Well, basically, post the surgery, I got my marching orders from the doctor and his staff of how to eat, the whole deal, and I stopped.
Well, that's post-surgery, but I'm talking about earlier in your life. You were an athlete, obviously, in college, well-known, famous, in the College Football Hall of Fame, so you're in shape. How do we get from the in-shape athlete that you were to the man who was morbidly obese later in life?
Well, you know, just as some factors, playing collegiate and professional football, you know, I was taking medications when you get injured and stuff like that. I think it was a problem with me, a buildup of toxins in my body. Would have really affected my metabolism. My metabolism just totally went to a stop, period. And not really knowing it, I had developed sleep apnea, didn't really have it. And then with sleep apnea, you know, it weakens the heart, the right side of it. And also, too, you don't metabolize your food. I was not metabolizing my food. So therefore, if you don't metabolize your food, you tend to gain weight and retain water. And over the period of 10 years, I picked up almost 100 pounds.
And doctor, what he's describing, is that a medical condition?
Yeah, it's a disease. It's morbid obesity. It's really rooted in genetics, so that once you get about 40% over your ideal body weight, then changes occur so you don't get the same feedback mechanisms for satiety. It's really the important thing. If people don't get satisfied with what they eat, then they tend to change their eating behaviors, and our society has changed so much over the last 40 years with bigger sizes and more fat in our diet and less exercise. And so it's a disease that anybody can have.
And as I'm sure you're both aware, this procedure, bypass surgery, is controversial. And there's the side that says, look, you shouldn't have eaten all the food that you ate that got you into trouble to begin with. What is wrong with that argument?
Well, the argument is that it's a disease. And if you were a smoker and you got a heart attack, they'd certainly take care of you. If you have diabetes type 2, which is associated with overweight to obesity, you'd still get treated for your diabetes. So it's a disease that people have, and it's something that should be treated. We should be treating more and more preventatively for our kids, that's for sure. But as people get sicker and sicker, over 400,000 people die each year from morbid obesity, and so it's something that we need to take care of better.
So we get to the point of having the procedure, and then what are the results? What's done basically in the procedure very quickly?
Yeah, the procedure is to make a very small stomach pouch. The stomach's usually about the size of a football, and we make it about the same size as a golf ball. So much restricted, and then reroute the intestines so that it drains that, bypassing the main part of the stomach.
Okay, we're just getting started, and we're already being told to wrap. But I just want you to say, Anthony, if you can, as quickly as possible, the results of you having this procedure were?
Look, I lost 100 pounds in a year. I'm on a great diet through a company called Metagenics, there's supplements and vitamins, and the whole process with my skin changed, the whole deal. It's come out, you know, I use a machine called Clarisonic, and sent around for the loosens of skin. So it was a whole process. I'm on a total program. And if you saw me last year at this point, two different people.
Mm-hmm. Well, you seem like a healthy man to me. You do seem like a good spokesperson for the procedure.
Oh, well, if the doctor says so, I'll go along with him.
Okay. Nice to meet both of you this
Good
morning.
to meet you. Thank you very much.
And if you at home would like to learn more about this procedure, you can log on to fox6.com. We have linked information regarding this to our website.